Cunard's Queen Elizabeth is just out of a major dry dock refurb, with many venues given a complete overhaul and some being introduced for the very first time. From the public areas to dining, entertainment and more, this guide will give you the complete rundown on Cunard's most Art Deco, with a touch of punk, ship, thoroughly modernised for 2025 and beyond. Launched in 2010 and christened by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II herself, the Cunard brand holds literally generations of royal sway. This ship carries the name and hefty expectations of her two formidable predecessors, the original Queen Elizabeth of the 1930s and the legendary QE2. More than just a barnacle scrape and a few new pool towels, a major refit in March 2025 was a strategic refresh aimed squarely at today's discerning luxury traveller, where wellness cafes and USB ports matter almost as much as chandeliers and deep-piled carpets. This video will show you every improvement. Our first experience of this ship was in her inaugural season way back in 2012, and we've been on her many times since. What will we think of her after a 10-year absence though? Will she still give us all those feel-good vibes we used to feel? We've been on dozens and dozens of cruises since we last stepped foot on her, so we were a little anxious as to how she holds up against all those competitors. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's go! Time to ditch the travel brochure fluff and take a proper look around. Our journey begins on deck 1 in the grand lobby. Think towering ceilings, art flourishes, and the most decorative sweeping staircase you've ever seen on a Vista-class ship. Grand lobby by name, definitely grand by nature. Cunard thought really long and hard about this space, and they pulled it off beautifully. First deck serves as base camp for all things official. The purser's office, when your keycard inevitably stops being helpful. Voyage sales, and a tour office. You'll also find the lower level of the Royal Court Theatre, the lowest of 3 decks of theatrical splendour, a very regal-looking venue, including private boxes flanking the high sides. Expect slick West End-style productions, classical concerts and guest acts ranging from comedians to illusionists. As performances go, Deck 2 is where Queen Elizabeth really starts showing off. So we come to the Empire Casino, where guests flirt with fortune under the glow of slot machines and the steady clink of blackjack chips. Small but lively, it opens out to this delightful inner lobby with a second feature staircase to Deck 3. I can't work out how Cunard so casually threw in another staircase that would rival most competitors' main stairs. Swagger, I think that's the most appropriate word. Opposite the casino is the Golden Lion pub, which delivers a floating slice of Britain, complete with draft ales and classic pub grub. If you're from the UK, it's home from home, well, without the grubby toilets. If you're not from the UK, it's a slice of Blighty to enjoy. Live sports, hearty British grub, quiz night, and possibly the only place where karaoke and traditional Cunard coexist peacefully. The Queen's Room is the elegant beating heart of Cunard tradition, a 2-deck ballroom dripping with chandeliers and velvet drapes. This is where you'll dance to the Cunard Big Band, enjoy a White Star afternoon tea, or just gawp at those who love to show off their skills on the dance floor. Yeah, I'm only jealous. Dad dancing is all I know. This space has been given a complete reworking in the 2025 refit. The new Queen's Room takes inspiration from the Royal Palace's heritage of planting mulberry trees since King James I, with its new carpet pattern replicating a lush garden shrubbery. Well, it's stunning. There's a few shops along here on the way to the grand lobby, which surrounds itself with public areas. Café Corinthia is not just about coffee, pastries and people watching. They do a surprisingly elegant line in wines and spirits too. For steak lovers and celebrants, the steakhouse at the veranda raises the bar and your on-board account. But it is worth it. Perfect steaks, elegant surroundings, impeccable service. The grand lobby serves as an entrance to the lower floor of the library, a glorious 2-level sanctuary containing around 6,000 books and many quiet corners to seek refuge from, well, everything. While we're here, I'm going to show you the upper floor of the library on Deck 3. Because it's such a lovely design, this space needs to be shown in full. Just aft back down on Deck 2 again, on the way to the huge Britannia restaurant, where most guests dine, is Britannia Club, offering a more intimate dining experience for club balcony guests. Same glam, fewer neighbours, turn up when you want. At the aft of the ship is the ridiculously pretty Britannia restaurant, the most Art Deco main dining room at sea, spanning 2 decks and styled like a Greta Garbo film set. Expect, of course, gala dinners served by an army of white-gloved, well-choreographed and impeccably dressed servers. We've spent dozens of nights in here and never had a bad night or a bad meal. It's one of the reasons we kept coming back. Deck 3 is Queen Elizabeth's cultural promenade in more ways than one. Beyond the upper Royal Court Theatre, the Royal Arcade provides retail therapy if you have space in your suitcase. From posh brands to high-end jewellery, the shops here let you pretend you're casually browsing for a Rolex while secretly hunting a Cunard teddy bear for your niece or for yourself. No judgment there, of course, we've got one. He's called Samuel. Thankfully, if you buy something from the art gallery, they're not expecting you to fold it up and stuff it between your dirty laundry and your already overloaded suitcase. They ship worldwide, and so they should. Some of the pieces in here have a price tag that makes your eyes water. Nearby, the Midships Bar, aka Gin and Fizz, caters to your inner botanist with a staggering gin selection. Enjoy gin cocktails and celebratory bubbles in a stylish central people-watching setting. If you're not into gin, come anyway. They may just convert you. If you'd rather bridge the afternoon with cards, see what I did there? The card room is just around the corner. If you're feeling bored, games are available too. Board games, see what I did there? Careful though, some of the games in here are played with the seriousness of a UN summit. One of the main features of a Vista-class ship like this is the fabulous wraparound promenade deck. Perfect for walking, jogging or brooding dramatically into the horizon. 3 laps equals just under a mile, and if it's too much effort to try and beat your personal best, especially with a tummy full of afternoon tea, these traditional wooden steamer chairs are perfect for that mid-walk nap. I think mid-walk naps should be mandatory on everything over a kilometre, especially on a promenade deck. Decks 4 through 8 are dedicated almost entirely to accommodation, with something for every preference and wallet. More about that later, but here's a standard veranda stateroom for you to look at. Thanks to the 2025 refit, all new rooms now boast USB ports, finally. Updated entertainment systems, all the TVs are brand new mattresses and spruced up furnishings that say classic without whispering dated. And yes, laundrettes are still a thing, a very necessary thing. On decks 4 through 8, you'll find them tucked away discreetly for when life and Lido curry night spills intrude on holiday bliss. Be warned though, at busy times, laundrette etiquette varies wildly. That's all I'm saying. Deck 9 begins the territory of swimming costumes, gym gear and spa robes. Up front lies the Royal Spa and Fitness Centre, home to the revamped Mariel Wellness and Beauty Complex. A spa pool-focused sanctuary of steam rooms, saunas and massage tables, the 2025 refit introduces Harper's Bazaar Wellness at Sea. The fitness centre is also here, should you feel inclined to offset your lunchtime hot dog with a downward dog, or that afternoon tea with a treadmill trot. Midships is the reimagined pavilion pool, complete with new sun lounges, a chic pavilion bar, and the Wellness Café. Bright and tasty idea for 2025, borrowed from sister ship Queen Anne. Midships lies the Garden Lounge, a conservatory-style space updated in 2025 with completely new furniture. And take it from us, it's all exceptionally comfy. Somebody really thought this through with a priority on comfort as well as style. Well done, Cunard. My favourite and slightly rebellious feature in here is the graffiti-covered mural. It's so perfectly punk and deliciously out of place, not only in here but on the whole ship. And that's why I love it. Not sure the Queen herself would have approved though. Right at the aft, the Lido restaurant is the ship's casual buffet with dishes from around the world and is ideal for when you want to grab or go or can't be bothered to dress for dinner. Yes, Cunard are still pretty hot about that. And you know what? In the era of buffet brawls and boozy stag weekends on Cunard's competitors, politely insisting on a dress code when appropriate is reassuringly old-fashioned. The Lido is home to various themed culinary evenings, which we will go into more about later in this guide. Stay tuned. Continue through to the aft of the ship on deck 9, the Lido pool and bar round out the experience with burger salads and sunshine. And the biggest and most pleasant surprise, Cunard have added some phenomenal sunshades in the 2025 refit. Quite frankly, they've turned this area from a sun-bleached no-go area for anyone but seasoned and well-basted sun worshippers to a delightfully diverse al fresco area with shaded dining tables and comfy seating arrangements nestled under these huge canopies. It's a massive improvement, and at last has elevated Queen Elizabeth into Holland America Line territory, who always had thoughtful shaded areas here on their Vista-class ships. Deck 10 is where things get a little more panoramic and a little more posh, a word that surely was invented on Cunard all those years ago. At the bow sits the Commodore Club, Queen Elizabeth's crown jewel and our favourite venue for pre-dinner drinks. Sweeping sea views? Check. A live pianist tinkling away? Check. New furnishings from the 2025 refit? Well, naturally. If cigars are your thing, or at least the idea of them, Churchill's Cigar Lounge is tucked away nearby. Behind the Commodore Club sits the Yacht Club, moonlighting as a tranquil lounge by day and your DJ-fuelled disco by night. Yes, the ship has a nightclub, just don't expect foam cannons and glow sticks. Think more Great Gatsby than Great Yarmouth. Also located on Deck 10 further down, the play zone for children and the zone for teens, complete with their own outdoor space. Warning, during holiday sailings, these areas can get pretty chaotic. Next to these is the stairway entrance to Deck 11 space for grills guests, Cunard's historic first-class designation. Now on Deck 11, way out front above the Commodore Club is the games deck, open to all and offering croquet, paddle tennis, lawn bowls and the chance to realise those people you made friends with are far more competitive than you thought. The games deck feels quintessentially British, probably because most of the activities here would have non-Brits scratching their heads. In a separate Deck 12 area halfway down the ship is the grills areas. The Grills Lounge, Queen's Grill, Princess Grill and the Courtyard, an alfresco space for sweet guests. And these were all thoroughly pampered in the 2025 refit. Think softer chairs, gleaming cutlery and the kind of service where someone refolds your napkin whilst you visit the powder room. The lounge benefits from some beautiful full-length panoramic windows overlooking a terrace which is populated by some brand new and pretty sumptuous furniture. It's classy and refined, but if I had to find fault, it would probably be the lack of shade out here. But the furniture is wonderful. The lack of shade is something Cunard has addressed on the upper grills terrace, with these long canopies similar to those at the Lido pool on Deck 9. I'm surprised they didn't install a couple of hot tubs up here during the refit. I guess they would have had to install showers and changing facilities too, so it's not always as simple as we make it out to be. This is also the highest viewing area of the ship, which makes it ideal for sea gazing, stargazing and getting closer to bridges you pass under. Both the grills restaurants have bragging rights for sea views too. Both the Queen's Grill and the Princess Grill restaurants maximise the daylight and give the grills guests fine views with their fine dining. Speaking of dining, let's take a quick look at the dining options on board in this second part of the complete guide to Queen Elizabeth. Firstly, your dining room is assigned based on your stateroom class, and there's a visible difference between included and included but posher. Here's the rundown. The grand dame of dining venues, Britannia is where most of Queen Elizabeth's guests enjoy their meals. It's got it all: sweeping staircase, glimmering chandeliers, and just enough Art Deco to feel like you've wandered into a 1930s ocean liner, but with fewer portholes and more awareness of food allergies. Breakfast, lunch and a 5-course dinner here are served daily, featuring British classics and international dishes that change regularly to keep things interesting. Guests choose between early or late seatings, or go for open dining if commitment or timekeeping just isn't your thing. An elevated version of the Britannia restaurant, the Britannia Club restaurant, offers an intimate single-seating dining experience for club balcony stateroom guests. It's like Britannia, but quieter, quicker, and with the added perk of dining whenever you fancy, within opening hours, of course. Expect a few exclusive dishes alongside Britannia staples. Buffet lovers, this one's for you. The Lido is a casual serve-yourself spot with global hot dishes, carveries, salads, desserts and more. It's ideal for those avoiding tuxedos on gala night, or anyone who fancies breakfast in shorts with a view of the ocean and not a tablecloth in sight. Come for the pint, stay for the pie. The Golden Lion offers classic British pub fare at lunchtime. Think fish and chips, ploughman's pies. It's enough to make you feel nostalgic for a rainy Sunday in the Cotswolds with a wet dog at your feet. There are menu items on here that are included in your fare, and a few created by UK Michelin-starred celebrity chef Michelle Roux, which attract a small charge. We've tried them all and we think they are worth the extra cost. to eat off a Michel Roux menu, which are normally well out of our reach, but we'd love to know what you think. Leave us a comment. The Lido Grill has got a stylish spruce up in 2025 and quite frankly it shows. Tucked away by the aft Lido pool, this alfresco spot is now not only a great place to grab a bite, but also one where you can do so without slow roasting like a rotisserie chicken. Thoughtfully expanded shaded areas mean you can now enjoy your meal and keep your epidermis. The surprise hit of our voyage? The burgers, yes really. We've long sung the praises of Holland America Line's Dive-In, that's home to the best burgers at sea, but Queen Elizabeth's Lido Grill has stepped up with serious flair. So much so, it's now neck and neck in the Burger Olympics. Special mention goes to the chicken burger, which frankly deserves its own entry in the Michelin Guide. Café Corinthia is the rising star when it comes to posh small plate cuisine. Beginning in mid-June in 2025, the menu and experience from the Queen Anne will be released fleet-wide. So for much more detail about that, please watch our guide to Queen Anne. We'll leave a link at the end. Currently, you can get some delicious open sandwiches for lunch here, along with some specialty platters, and also between 3 and 5 p.m, some afternoon tea goodies. Like Queen Anne, some of the menu, however, may come at an extra charge. On Queen Elizabeth, afternoon tea isn't just a bite between meals, it's a full-blown institution. Cunard doesn't do afternoon tea, Cunard is afternoon tea. And you've got options, many of them in fact. This is the main event, served daily with white glove flair in a ballroom that looks like it moonlights as a royal drawing room. This experience includes delicate finger sandwiches, fresh scones, yes with clotted cream, the holy grail of scone toppings, dainty pastries and Twining's tea. Bags not loose leaf, unfortunately. Bonus points if the string trio is playing, because nothing says mid-afternoon snack like a live backdrop of Vivaldi classics. It's effortlessly elegant, indisputably British, and the gold standard most other cruise lines are still trying to imitate. If you're staying in and don't fancy lifting more than a finger to dial, afternoon tea can come to you. It's a slightly abridged version, but the tea, scones and smug satisfaction of dining in your plush Cunard dressing gown, oh, that's still delicious. Grill's guests can also take tea in their exclusive restaurants, enjoying nearly the same offerings as the Queen's Room, but with fewer crowds and a far better chance of finding a seat without entering a polite but tense scone standoff. High tea here is served on elegant tiered risers rather than from silver trays plonked onto your plate. Add panoramic sea views and you've got yourself a posh afternoon well spent. Feeling fancy? This one's for you. At $45 US per person, it's Cunard's most luxurious take on tea, complete with a chilled glass of Laurent Perrier Brut or Rosé to kick things off. The three-tiered stand is stocked with treats you won't find anywhere else on board. More intricate, more indulgent, and arguably enough to count as dinner. So pray you've got a late sitting for that. Still not convinced? Don't worry, Cunard refuses to let you escape the scone. Even the Lido buffet gets in on the action, providing that no matter where you hide, tea will find you. Resistance is futile. There's afternoon tea everywhere. A new post-refit addition for 2025, the Wellness Café has been ported across from Cunard's newest ship, Queen Anne. Located near the pavilion pool, it offers smoothies, juices, vibrant salads, power bowls, and other health-conscious delights. There's plenty of plant-based fare, plus sustainably sourced meat, fish, and dairy, ideal for those who want to feel virtuous between cookies from the Lido. Available 24/7 and included in your fare, room service delivers light bites, snacks, and drinks in your stateroom. Breakfast in bed or midnight nibbles? Cunard provides both without judgment, or, increasingly rare these days, an extra charge. We come on to the premium dining venues now, which cost you a little bit extra. Queen Elizabeth boasts just one dedicated specialty restaurant, but don't let that modest number fool you. The steakhouse at the veranda is a treat, perfect for special occasions or those evenings when you simply fancy, well, being fancy. Expect beautifully aged steaks, opulent seafood platters, signature mains, a slew of side dishes, and a wine list that would make the sommelier swoon. The setting is just as elevated as the cuisine, elegant, intimate, and unmistakably premium. It's romantic, refined, and priced accordingly. About $30 US for lunch and $65 US for dinner. Yes, it's a splurge. And yes, the wine prices are equally aspirational. If you're already staying in the Grill Suites with access to their exceptional restaurants, you may understandably wonder why the veranda is quite extra enough to justify being extra. And there's no petit four to finish, which was a surprise. These little chocolate treats are a Cunard staple. It's a small thing, but it had us scratching our heads as to why, considering the additional cost. Beyond the veranda, Cunard offers 3 rotating premium evening venues that take over a chic section of the Lido restaurant. Don't panic, it's nothing like sitting in the buffet under the fluorescent lights. These pop-up concepts are atmospheric, intimate, and feel like proper standalone restaurants. We loved this idea when Holland America Line did it, and Cunard pulls it off just as well. Currently, here's what's on offer. An ode to Italian favourites from the mainland and the islands, but with merciful clarity. Unlike a traditional Italian menu, which can often read like a novella, La Piazza sticks to a tidy trio: appetiser, entree and dessert. Choose from 5 starters, 5 mains and 1 trio of desserts to finish. It's simple, satisfying and avoids the existential crisis of choosing between pasta and risotto. East Asia fusion done with flair and flavour bombs. It follows the same neat format as La Piazza, but here the star is the bento box of appetisers. 5 miniature masterpieces, bursting with taste. Honestly, it was so good, we nearly applauded. But we didn't, we're British. Coriander is your passport to Indian spice and indulgence. The format switches things up slightly, kicking off with a tasting platter, followed by a shorba, 5 main course options with 3 side dishes, and a choice of kulfi, or you guessed it, a trio of desserts. This one packs flavour, fragrance, and just the right amount of heat. Napkins were definitely required to avoid any unexpected laundry visits. Now, for Grills guests, we're not diving into the Grills dining experience here because it deserves a full spotlight of its own, so keep an eye out for our dedicated Guide to Cunard Grills video, where we go deep on Cunard's famous ship-within-a-ship concept. Spoiler, it's better than we imagined. A quick word on the entertainment. Music lovers rejoice. Queen Elizabeth isn't just a ship, it's a floating festival. There are musicians everywhere. Every night it feels like Glasgow informal wear, with live acts of all styles performing in venues of all sizes. There are 3 duos, each with their own sound and vibe, performing nightly across different lounges. Add to that a string trio, 2 pianists, a guitarist, and the Queen's Room musicians, plus a full-grown orchestra in the Royal Court Theatre. If you prefer your music with a mirror ball and bass drops, there's even a DJ spinning tunes late into the evening. And here's the thing, they're all good, like really good. Wandering the ship at night is like being in a live, slightly eclectic Spotify playlist. The entire ship pulses with music, dancing and a sense of occasion that's impossible not to get swept up in. Let's not forget the legendary formal nights, a Cunard signature. The grand balls in the Queen's Room are something special, with parts of the orchestra, bands and vocalists combining in an audio-visual mashup that wouldn't feel out of place in a West End theatre. If said theatre was bobbing gently in the Atlantic, of course. Speaking of which, yes, there are West End style shows too, performed by a top-tier quartet of Cunard singers and a whole ensemble of resident dancers. Throw in a professional dance couple who not only perform but teach you to twirl like a pro on sea days, you've got yourself a serious lineup. Oh, and guest performers also pop in to wow the audiences at the Royal Court Theatre several times each voyage. They can literally be anything. So when it comes to evening entertainment, Cunard doesn't just deliver, it absolutely nails it. They're still one of the best in the business in our opinion. Okay, let's sober up a bit here. Not every ship is everyone's cup of tea, even when that tea is served with scones, white gloves and a string quartet. Queen Elizabeth is no exception. We've done our research, got our MacBooks to read a ton of guest feedback for us to summarise, and here's the straight from the Lido deck verdict. The good, the grumbles and the gloriously unfiltered from those who've actually sailed on her, and we tend to agree with every point. The Art Deco interiors regularly earn glowing praise. Stunning, elegant and occasionally too nice to touch. She's not here to be trendy or flashy, Queen Elizabeth is a class act that knows exactly what era she's channeling. Hint, it's more 1920s than 2020s. From the refined multi-course menus in Britannia to the elevated elegance of the grills, foodies will leave satisfied and occasionally full to the point of needing a little lie down. Cunard loyalists choose Queen Elizabeth for a reason. The formal nights, orchestras, afternoon teas and ballrooms. It's not just a party ship in the Ibiza sense, it's a ship that believes champagne tastes better when you're dressed like someone from a 1930s movie poster. Even with a maximum 2,000 passengers aboard, she rarely feels crowded. You may find yourself whispering in the library, partly from reverence, mostly because it's actually quiet. Imagine that. Tasteful decor, comfy new mattresses, and finally, USB ports. Yes, Cunard has gracefully accepted that modern guests arrive with gadgets that need charging. Edwardian charm meets 21st century practicality. Well, what don't people generally like? Here's a couple of honest views. Cunard's famed White Star service usually impresses, but when it stumbles, it's noticeable. Some reviews mention slow service or missed details during peak dining hours. The vast majority of the crew are polished pros, but when perfection is the standard, anything less gets noticed. While Cunard clearly delivers a luxe experience, a few guests felt a little nickel and dimed, and with their stateroom accounts lightly sautéed. Generous charges for bottled water, specialty dining, a ridiculously priced drinks package, and internet charges that make your wallet require a reboot made some question just how included everything is. If we were to add a solution to that, it would be Cunard missing that one key offering that would make almost all of that go away. A have-it-all style package similar to Holland America Line. That would be great. Until then, a gentle warning, your wallet will be bashed, albeit elegantly, and with white gloves, of course. So, is Queen Elizabeth the ship for you? Well, that depends. Do you prefer evenings in a tuxedo or loungewear? Does the thought of afternoon tea with a string quartet make your heart beat faster than a foam pool party with some manic DJ with an air horn? Do you normally pack novels or neon? Queen Elizabeth is all about the elegant art of event cruising, gala evenings, ballroom dancing, silver teapots at 3 p.m. They aren't just on-board activities, they're acts in a ship-wide performance. Here you don't just take a holiday, you can step into character, sometimes quite literally, with ball gowns, dicky bow ties and the occasional Venetian mask. But make no mistake, she's not a floating museum. Thanks to her 2025 refit, Queen Elizabeth now brings all the charm of a bygone era with the comforts of this one. She hasn't traded tradition for trendiness. She's simply had a very tasteful tune-up, emerging as a timeless classic now with Starlink Wi-Fi and more kale smoothies. It's a big scroll withered thumbs up from us. Our biggest question is, why did we leave it 10 years? If you want to see what we thought of Cunard's newest and largest sister, Queen Anne, please watch these next. Thank you.